My second do when it comes to meeting a character at Walt Disney World is to, I don't know what it is. Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, welcome. I make videos. So today in this video, I'm going to be talking to you about my top 3 do's and don'ts when it comes to meeting characters at Walt Disney World. Really, it's for any park that you decide to go to, but today I'm going to be referring to Walt Disney World. If you're new here, I know I've said this before, but I used to work for Disney as a character performer, so kind of being on this end of everything, I kind of understand what you should do and what you shouldn't do when you're meeting a character, especially because I used to be a person that used to get so awkward when they met a character, or maybe never really put in consideration how the character might feel with certain things I say and do. So just know that this is coming from my personal experience, and this is coming from my personal preference, really. So don't take it personal if you've done these things or you don't really agree with what I'm saying, or if you are a performer and you don't really agree with what my opinions are. It's just my opinion. So yes, if you are planning a trip to Disney World in the near future and you're wondering how you should even meet characters to begin with, you're in the right place. Just keep watching. So I'm gonna start off with the do's first. So my first do when it comes to meeting a character is to make sure that you are ready, prepared, and organized. And really what I mean by that is just to make sure that you have your autograph books, your phones, and your cameras ready for the interaction that you're about to have with your character. Sometimes you're in line for anywhere between 15 minutes to an hour, so you do have enough time to get everything ready and organized before you go up there. And if you think you're gonna forget to get organized or to have everything together, don't worry, because there's gonna be at least one attendant that is walking through the queue or standing at the front of the queue saying, please make sure you have your autographs and your cameras ready for your interaction with your character. And they will say it plenty of times. They're not just saying it for their own health, they're saying that so you are guaranteed to have the best interaction with the character as possible. And what I mean by organized is to make sure when you go up there, you don't just have your autograph books out somewhere, like maybe grandma has it, but you're not sure, or your camera's somewhere, and maybe your husband has it. What I mean is to make sure that your camera is on and ready, and that all your autograph books, if you have multiple, are stacked on top of each other, and you have a pin ready to hand your character, and make sure it works. If not, the character attendant usually has a backup, and usually they have something that you can write on as well if you don't have an autograph book. Also, when it comes to photos, make sure that you know exactly what group of people that you want in the photo. So if you have multiple people, maybe you just want the kids. So make sure everyone knows before you take the picture that the kids are all gonna get a single picture, and then maybe the parents, and then maybe just the grandkids, or whatever it is. Just make sure that everyone knows what's going on. That way you are guaranteed to have a fun interaction with your character, and you're not going to be losing time speaking to your character, or maybe hanging out with your character if you're trying to figure out how to just take a photo. You know what I mean? My second do when it comes to meeting a character at Walt Disney World is to speak. You want to think that your interaction with a character is not just a staged act. I feel like a lot of times guests will come up to a character and they'll just freeze, and they just expect the character to do all the work, which it is the character's job to make sure that they are the ones starting the conversation and telling the story. But it is really nice to meet a guest that is talkative and maybe asks questions or has a story to tell that character, whether that character can actually respond back to you or if that character is saving their voice for the show. It's just nice for a guest to come up and start a conversation or have a conversation. And you are guaranteed to have a good interaction if you are interacting back with the character that you're meeting. It's kind of like if you were walking on the street and you just walk up to a random pedestrian and you have a book in your hand with a pen and you go, and don't say anything. Like, that's strange, right? Like, so why would you do that to a character? So say something about their movie, like in reference, and maybe they'll respond. You can ask them anything from their storyline and they are guaranteed to give you an answer. And the characters love that. They love when you know their story. They love when you have questions. The characters love to talk, that's why they're there. So make sure you have something to say, and you're guaranteed to have such a great interaction with your character. My last do is to be in the moment. You really want to make sure that you're really taking everything in with your character, and that's why I'm saying you don't want to be looking around for your autograph book or your camera during your interaction, because one, it takes away from meeting your character, and two, you're not even paying attention. You're not in the moment. And the whole point of why you just waited an hour in a line to meet a character is to meet them, to speak to them, to interact with them. So have everything ready. Go up to the character and just make the most of it. Take it all in. If a character wants to, sit on the ground and hug your child and rock them back and forth, let them do it. That's a moment that child will never have again. And trust me, you are not wasting the character's time. If the character is sitting there hugging your child and they're just having a moment, maybe the character needs that moment more than your child at the time. Maybe that character really needed that big long hug. Maybe your child needed that big long hug. Just let it happen. Let the magic of Disney be the magic of Disney, and enjoy every single moment that you have with that character. And now we're going to be moving on to the don'ts. And again, I don't want anyone to be offended if you've ever done this before or if you still do it. This is just my personal preference, so just take it with a grain of salt. This is just my experience I'm sharing. My first don't is don't ignore your character when you're coming to meet them. There have been many times in my friend's experience that they're trying to meet a guest and the guest pretty much could care less. They just want that picture and autograph and they're out the door, which sometimes I guess that's okay. Maybe they're in a hurry, but honestly, if the character is trying to spend time with you and speak to you and maybe play with you and you have nothing to say and you're just quick to leave, and you kind of treat the character like they're nothing even though you just waited in line for them, it's kind of awkward, and it's not always nice to the character. So just make sure that you are, like I said, in the moment. You don't want to just ignore what the character has to say, and you don't want to just shove a book in their face or shove a camera in their face. Let the character meet you and get to talk to you, and then I promise you will get to the picture and the autograph book. They won't forget about it. Just let your character meet your child or you or grandma or grandpa. Let the character bring that magic and not just sign an autograph, because that moment with your character is going to last so much longer in your child's head than an autograph. And also going along with that don't is don't ignore the character attendant that is working with the character or the photo pass. A lot of the times they are the voice of the performers that you are meeting. So you want to make sure that you are being respectful to them, and they're not just going to make up rules to ruin your vacation. There are a lot of rules when it comes to meeting characters, and it's for safety reasons. So please just make sure if an attendant asks you to do something that you do listen to them and respect that, because they were working very, very, very hard, and so are the photo pass, and we appreciate you. So just make sure that you are respecting what they have to say, because it might be a safety hazard and they might just be trying to protect the guests and the character at all times. My second don't is, this is on a personal opinion, personal, but again, take it with a grain of salt. I do not suggest having a million autograph books and a million cameras or a million, canvases or blankets or anything. More than likely, those millions of autograph books that you just bought, they're gonna get lost in your kid's bed, they're gonna forget about them. I just found 5 of my old autograph books from when I was a kid shoved in the back of my closet, and I probably haven't seen them since I went to Disney, which was years ago, with those autograph books. I would say just get one autograph book. The kids can share it. It makes it so much easier for not only you, but the character. And this way it gives the character more time to interact with your family instead of signing all these autograph books the whole time. They can just sign one and then they can interact with your family, and then you'll have a great interaction, I promise. And my third don't is don't treat the character that you are meeting as if they are non-existent. There's been so many times where I just feel like people forget that the characters have feelings and they have emotions. You just want to always make sure that you are nice to everyone. Just like if you were nice to a stranger that you're meeting on the street, you want to be nice to the character that you're meeting. If you hate that character, maybe they're a villain, or maybe you think, you know, you don't like the movie that they were in, don't meet them. I just don't think it's necessary to be nice to a character, whether that is judging them on their looks, or their body size, or their storyline, or just trying to tease them, or to try to make them say something that they shouldn't say, or do something that they shouldn't do. Don't harass a character. I mean, the characters are, you know, doing exactly what they're told, and they're there to make you happy. They didn't do anything to you. So don't go in there and try to ruin a character's day or their mindset. Just go in there and just let the character do what they have to do. If you have nothing nice to say, I suggest not meeting the character, or maybe just staying quiet. But just remember, the characters have feelings, and you want to make sure that you are aware of that. And you shouldn't, I mean, you just shouldn't be mean to people that you've never met before. Anyways, you shouldn't be mean in general. Be nice. Okay, it's nice to be nice, right? So that is it, guys. I know this was kind of a short video, but I just wanted to film something for you guys. I'm really trying to get ready for my move. My room is a mess right now, so that's what I'm focusing on. And I'm focused on finishing up the end of the year with my dance studios, with all their recitals. So stressed out. So yeah, guys, that was my 3 do's and don'ts when it comes to meeting characters at Walt Disney World, or really any Disney theme park that there is. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'm so excited to see you in my next one. Bye!